Have you ever had one of those moments when something inside you just clicks? A quiet certainty that rises without logical explanation, but you know deep down, it's true? This happened to me 2 years ago, on an ordinary Monday. I was stuck in traffic, stressed out, when a phrase came out of nowhere. You already are who you need to be. It wasn't my usual internal voice. It was different, calmer, more true. I didn't know then that I was experiencing a function your brain was designed for, or the science today can explain exactly how that click happens in your neurology. Over the next minutes, we're going to explore together how your faith, yes, your faith, can become the most powerful tool for rewriting your own neurology. And you'll discover it's not mysticism. It's applied science. Maria was 34 when she discovered her brain changed after she started praying. It wasn't a spiritual revelation, it was an MRI scan. The neuroscientist who followed her case, Dr. Andrew Newberg, was fascinated. Specific areas of her brain lit up during prayer. Not just the language regions, but entire circuits dedicated to transcendence. You know what this means? You were literally designed to connect with something greater. Your brain has dedicated hardware for faith. Think about the last time you felt that connection. Maybe in prayer, on a walk, in deep silence. Do you remember the feeling? That peace that didn't depend on external circumstances? That wasn't coincidence. That was your brain, functioning exactly as it was created to function. The question is, how can we activate this consciously? How many words do you speak to yourself each day? Researchers estimate about 12,000. 12,000 commands you give your brain, often without realizing it. I learned this the hard way. For years, my internal conversation was a ruthless critic. You can't do this. This is too hard. Who do you think you are? Until I found research by Dr. Joe Dispenza that changed everything. He proved our internal words don't just describe our reality, they literally create it. In 8 weeks of directed internal dialogue, participants changed not only behaviors, but brain chemistry. Here's the difference I learned. There's a chasm between trying to convince yourself and simply recognizing a deeper truth. When you think I need to be stronger, you're pleading. When you internally recognize I am strength in development, you're simply identifying something that already exists, waiting to be cultivated. Try this now in silence. Choose an area where you feel weak. Instead of asking to be different, gently acknowledge, I am this quality in development. Feel how different that is? Ever notice how, after you decide to buy a red car, you start seeing red cars everywhere? They were always there. You just adjusted your antenna. This is called the reticular activating system. Your brain filtering millions of pieces of information and focusing only on what you consider important. But here's the secret. Your faith works exactly like that antenna. Roberto had been an accountant for 15 years, hated the job, but needed the money. One day, almost playfully, he started paying attention, with faith to opportunities for change. It wasn't forced positive thinking, it was genuine curiosity. What if there are possibilities I'm not seeing? Within 3 months, he'd received 2 job offers he'd never noticed before. The opportunities were always there. His faith-directed attention just adjusted the antenna. Brian Tracy called this positive expectation. You don't force results, you just become curious about possibilities. It's like tuning a radio station. The music is already being broadcast. You just need to adjust the dial. What area of your life could you tune your antenna with more curiosity and faith? Hope isn't daydreaming. Hope is making plans. I discovered this through psychologist Snyder, who studied resilient people for decades. He found that those who overcome major challenges have three characteristics. They know where they want to go. They always have alternative paths to the same destination. And they have an energy source that doesn't depend on mood. Think about David before facing Goliath. He wasn't brave out of ignorance. He'd defeated a lion and a bear before. His hope in God wasn't vague. It was based on concrete experiences of victory. David knew where he wanted to go: protect Israel. He had multiple paths for the same goal: stone, sling, experience. And his energy came from a source greater than his circumstances. Here's a simple exercise. Think of an area where you need a breakthrough. Now, instead of just having hope, build structured hope. First, clearly define the result you want. Second, identify 3 different paths to reach the same destination. Third, connect with an energy source that doesn't fluctuate with circumstances. This isn't optimism. This is hope with architecture. This is faith that plans. If this content is resonating with you, if you're seeing how science and faith can dance together, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because we're just beginning to explore the secrets of your inner transformation. My biggest lesson about growth came from an unexpected conversation with my gym trainer. He explained, muscles only grow when challenged beyond their comfort zone. Without resistance, there's no development. Simple as that. Later, studying neuroplasticity, I discovered our brain works exactly the same way. Psychologist Carol Dweck researched children facing impossible puzzles and noticed something fascinating. It wasn't the difficulty itself that determined the outcome. It was how they interpreted the difficulty. There's a crucial difference. Difficulty without purpose only frustrates. Difficulty with meaning transforms. Next time you face a challenging situation, try this simple question. What is this experience inviting me to develop? It's not about enjoying the difficulty. It's about conscious partnership with your own growth. The Bible says, tribulation produces perseverance. Now we know this is literally true. Controlled stress strengthens neural connections between areas responsible for emotional regulation. Your next difficulty isn't punishment. It's your brain being invited to evolve. And you can accept that invitation consciously. Gratitude became trendy, I know. Everyone talks about being grateful. But there's a difference between Instagram gratitude and gratitude that actually changes your neurology. James Clear researched this and found genuine gratitude releases a combination of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. It's like a natural cocktail of well-being. But here's the secret. There's gratitude for what already happened, and there's gratitude for what's happening, even when you can't see it yet. I started experimenting with this during a difficult financial period. Instead of just being grateful for the money I had, which was little, I began being grateful for opportunities that were on their way, even without knowing what they were. It wasn't denial of reality. It was applied faith. I was training my brain to recognize patterns of abundance, even amid apparent scarcity. Try this for a week. When you wake up, before assessing your circumstances, internally mention 3 things you're grateful for. 1 you already have. 2 that are in process. Don't force it. Just experiment. And notice how this affects your ability to spot opportunities throughout the day. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about tuning to the frequency where solutions become visible. Who would you be if you weren't afraid? That question changed my life, but not the way you might imagine. For months, I thought I needed to become a completely different person, until I discovered that identity works like software. It can be updated gradually, doesn't need to be reformatted. Dr. Joe Dispenza documents fascinating cases, people who changed personality, habits, and even biological markers through what he calls mental rehearsal. mentally practicing the new version of themselves. They weren't pretending to be different. They were neurologically training who they were becoming. Here's the process I learned. First, identify a quality you admire in someone. Second, start asking yourself, how would someone with that quality act in this situation? Third, practice small actions based on that identity. When Jesus called Simon Peter, he wasn't being poetic. He was installing a new neural identity. Peter wasn't stable yet, but he started acting like someone stable until his neurology followed his lead. What's one quality of your next version? How would she take the next decision you need to make? You don't need to wait to feel different to act different. Act different, and your feelings will follow the example. We've reached the end of our journey today, but really, it's just the beginning. What we discovered together isn't complicated. Your faith has always been real, always had power, always changed your biology. Now you simply have language to understand how. You don't need to revolutionize your life tomorrow. Choose one thing: a gentler internal conversation, more conscious gratitude, a small action from your new identity. Your faith isn't just belief, it's technology. It's not just spiritual, it's neurological. And the most beautiful part, you've always had access to it. If this content touched something real in you, leave a comment sharing which insight most impacted your journey. Subscribe to the channel to keep exploring the mysteries of your transformation, and hit that like button, because every gesture of recognition helps this message reach someone who needs to hear it. The laboratory of your transformation isn't somewhere distant. It's in the next choice you make, the next thought you direct, the next version of yourself you decide to rehearse. Science has simply confirmed what your soul always knew. You were created to grow, to transcend, to connect with something infinitely greater. And it starts now, with a simple recognition. You already are more than you imagine.